Hi, Stefan Kyora. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine so far, fine.
It's great to see you. Sometimes we feel left alone here in Geneva, so it's great that you came from Zurich. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not that far away, so I'm happy to be here.
So you're here for our Corporate Innovation Symposium 2025, and it's a great opportunity to have you and an honor. Thanks a lot again. So you will be presenting the Swiss VC Report 2025. So for this year, 2024 marks another decline in Swiss startup funding following an initial drop in 2023. What are the main factors behind this trend?
Yeah, I think there are two main reasons. The first is the absence of very large rounds of more than 100 million. This is not a new problem, but persistent, and we saw that last year we had only one larger round of more than 100 million. This were 160 million, so not very, very large. This was one of the reasons, and the other is that we see a clear consolidation in the ICT sector. So in particularly larger, older companies, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, they do not find any money anymore if they do not grow enough. So these are the main reasons, I would say. So we have a weakness in ICT companies, and we have the absence of very, very large rounds.
So you organized like two sessions, one in Zurich and also one in Lausanne, when you presented this Swiss VC Report 2025. What was the atmosphere? How do you feel people reacting about these figures?
Yeah, it was in the range of what people have expected. So there were not euphoric, but also there was not very, the mood was generally good. Most of the people also think that that everything will return and that we will get to bigger numbers in the next years. So this was okay. And the only thing people really worried about was the low number of exits, so the low number of startups acquired by established companies.
Do you feel it's a global trend or is only related to Switzerland, the lack of capital?
Yeah, regarding the last year, the trend is in Switzerland much the same than in Europe. So we had 8.5% less invested than in the year before. And in Europe as a whole, according to PitchBook, it was 7.9%, so this is more or less the same. And regarding the number of rounds, it's also quite the same. So we had a drop in Switzerland of 10%, and in Europe it has been 15%, so there Switzerland was even a little bit more stable. So in this regard, with a comparison to other countries, Switzerland is okay. It's not good, but it's not worse than in other countries.
So we are based in Geneva, and we also support Vaud. So we are proud of the figure, the numbers that you announced. Yeah. Can you explain their success compared to the other cantons?
Yeah, in general, we see a clear trend towards deep tech sectors. This means life science, including biotech, medtech, and so on. This includes also robotics, hardware companies, materials companies. And last year, those cantons performed better that have more, or where the share of these companies is higher. In Geneva and in Vaud, there were also the biotech companies that were very successful, and they had also companies in the medtech field, in the clean tech field here in Geneva, and this helped to keep the momentum growing. And on the other side, ICT centers, so centers of ICT startups in Switzerland are more in Zug and Zurich, and they were clearly more affected of the downturn in this sector.
Do you feel that we are still the deep tech nation?
More than ever. I mean, that's clear. I think there's a clear trend to deep tech, and this is not only a phrase that is used by promotion agencies. This is really something. This is really the strength of the ecosystem in deep tech. So this can be, as I said, not only life sciences with biotech, medtech, but also a lot of clean tech solutions are science-based or technology-based. So There we have also unique products in the pipeline. And it can be also in the hardware world. So all these drones, all these robots that you see, these are quite often very unique based on years of research. And I think, yes, absolutely, Switzerland is a deep tech nation and should also focus on these strengths.
Do you feel that since like OpenAI, they set up a shop in Zurich, you have Meta that is growing also in Zurich, Google and so on, do you feel that these big tech companies prevent entrepreneurs from launching their own startup businesses, and at the same time it's good for Switzerland, but at the same time if I know that OpenAI, they offer like a 10 million salary for the top ones when you have the opportunity to launch your own startup and work for Meta or for OpenAI. I feel like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, but I think in general, this doesn't change so much. I think these very well-known companies, they are important to bring Switzerland on the map. But even before they were there, it was always clear for Swiss founders that you have very good alternatives if you do not want to start a company with high salaries and not so much work. Therefore, Swiss founders also often are motivated not only by technology but also by other goals. So, for example, this clean tech companies or robotics companies that really want to prevent people from doing risky jobs where then their robots can step in and so on. So if you look at Swiss founders, they do not found companies to become rich. This would not make sense, I think, in Switzerland. They become founders because they want to solve problems technically, but also larger problems, and this doesn't change if you have another very attractive employer in the city.
And the last question I've got for you, what are the main challenges Swiss startup will face in the coming years?
I mean, the whole sector everywhere in the world is extremely dynamic, and you have always new programs, new countries coming up with new support and so on. And firstly, I think it's important that the urgency is always there on all sides, so that promoters and administrations understand that when we compete in the startup sector, we compete with the whole world, and it's extremely dynamic, so we always have to look what other countries do and what we can copy and where they are better and where are our strengths as Switzerland. So this is one point we always should keep in mind. The second point is, I think it's a good idea to focus on this deep tech label. I think we can really position Switzerland as a deep tech nation. I think this is really a good idea. I think it's also a good idea to be very ambitious, to say we want to double the investment, or more than double if you look at the last year, to 5 billion and more. This is absolutely possible, and we need these ambitious goals. And then I think one strength of the Swiss ecosystem is also that it is so scattered that we have several organizations helping everywhere. A lot of bottom-up initiatives like you, I mean, and that's really a strength. But on the other hand, we must also collaborate on a certain level. So be sure that we are in line with what other organizations are doing. So that founders are not completely confused when they get into this scene. I think this is also something, and also when we go abroad, and we also always think, okay, we are from Geneva, we want to promote Geneva, but we are part of a larger ecosystem. This is a Swiss ecosystem, and the main goal might be to attract an investor to invest in Geneva companies, but then there should be also always the thought, okay, it would be also nice if this investor invests also in other Swiss regions. So this combination of local and small initiatives and having the big picture of Switzerland, this would also help.
Stefan, let's zoom on Geneva. What can be improved and what we did well?
I mean, if I look at the results, you are doing quite a lot well. I think if you look at supporting startups, it's always clear that nothing will happen in 1 or 2 years. So it really needs persistence, like in a startup. And several organizations are now here for quite a while, like Frangit, like Geneva, like the Campus Biotech, like the Wyss Institute, and this really helped to evolve the ecosystem. And I think what also is good that you really have 2 lighthouses here with Spine Art and with Sona that are very well known also outside Switzerland, so this helps. I think, sometimes, I mean, maybe even a little bit more ambition. And here is a lot that can be exploited. So this might, don't think too small. Don't think we are a small canton in a small country. So startup scene is always what can we do better than the guys from Cambridge, the guys from San Francisco. I think this should be the level. Sometimes in Switzerland I see people that are happy that they are better than the canton, I don't know, but this doesn't matter. So what matters is, are you better than what the people in UK are doing? So this is a level we should think of, and I think this could also be important for the next steps, that we keep this.
So you mentioned that Geneva did well, but if you compare with Zurich that raised like around 900 million, Geneva raised 265 million. You know, I know that we shouldn't be comparing canton versus canton, but if you look at 265, it's and Zurich 900 million, that's a big difference.
Maybe they started a little earlier, and they have of course the ETH that helps. They spin out 35 startups every year, and these startups are getting better and better, so this helps definitely. As I said, this year they were not that good, and it's all scattered. I think what plays a role is that you attract also larger investors to Geneva. One is already here, so Forest Day. I think it's good then also to be always in contact to these guys. I mean, they are here because they wanted to be here. They are not in other countries or other cantons. And this is also true for other investors. And I think what you do, trying to bring together corporates and the startup scene, that would also help to evolve even further.
Thanks, Stefan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Youness.
Thank you.